Hi everyone. So today is day 16 of the September LeetCoding challenge, and we will be solving spiral matrix problem today. And in this problem, like we have been given IM cross and matrix, and we need to return all the elements of the matrix in spiral order. So we can see that the spiral order is basically traversing this matrix in this order. So we are covering the outer elements first, and then we are moving inwards. So seeing this diagram, we cannot think of how we will write the code for like returning all the elements of the matrix in spiral order. So I will be using a simplified approach. So basically what I am doing, like I will be considering a part of matrix that is starting from row I and ending at row J, and starting at column P and ending at column Q. So we will be like first covering the outer part, like topmost part. We will be first covering the row I from column P to column Q. Then we will cover the column Q from row I plus 1 to J minus 1. And then we will be covering this whole bottom row, the jth row from Q to P columns. And then we will be moving from J minus 1 to I plus 1 row along the column P. So after doing this, we have covered the outer part. So we can again do the similar thing for the inner part. So for doing the inner part, what we'll do, we will increment this I to I plus 1, this J to J minus 1, and this P to P plus 1, and this Q to Q minus 1. So after doing these four changes, we can do the similar thing again, and we need to do this until this I is less than equal to J and this P is less than equal to Q. So we need to take care of one thing. So just in case this I will be equal to J or this P will be equal to Q, then we need to only traverse the row or the column only once. So for example, here here I will be here in the inner traversal, this I is equal to J. So we need to only do this top traversal, right? So we are only moving from 6 to 7 once. We are not doing 7 to 6 again. So we need to check whether I is equal to J. So if I will be equal to J, then we will be skipping this thing. So let me mark. So if I will be equal to J, we will be skipping this thing. And if P will be equal to Q, then we will be skipping this thing. So with these conditions, we can implement how the spiral traversal algorithm. So we can first start by taking the number of rows. So I'm storing it in the variable n, and we can store the number of columns in variable m. And yeah, we will need the four variables. So I will initialize I to 0, j to n minus 1, this p to 0, this q to m minus 1, and I will be doing this until I will be equal to j and p will be equal to q, until I is less than j and less than equal to j and p is less than equal to q. That was what I meant. And in the end of this every while loop, we need to do I plus plus, j minus minus, p plus plus, and q minus minus. Now we need to write these four traversals. So first of all, I will be writing this top traversal. So for that, I will be using a variable k. So this k will range from p to q. And we will also need a vector in which we'll like restore all the numbers for returning. So I will call it answer vector. So we need to push the answer vector with the elements. So these elements are I comma k. So now we have completed the first traversal. Now we need to traverse the matrix we need to traverse the right part of the matrix. So for traversing the right part of the matrix, we will use the k, and this k will go from I plus 1 to j minus 1, k plus, and we can push it. So the number we will be pushing will be this k and q. Yeah. And now for doing the bottom traversal, we need to check whether I is equal, whether I is not equal to j or not. So if I is not equal to j, we will be doing this, otherwise we will be not doing this. So here this k will range from q till p, and we need to push j comma k in the answer vector, and now we need to check whether p is equal to q or not. So if p is not equal to q, then we will be doing this. So here, like, this k will range from j minus 1 to less than equal to I plus 1, and we can push the element. So the element will be pushing will be k comma p. So everything looks fine, and in the end we can return the answer vector, right? So we can try to run it on the sample test cases. Yeah, it is working. We can submit it. Yeah, it got accepted. So see you guys on day 17. Until then, keep lead coding.